Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir SilentGods video. In today's video, I'm gonna do a little bit of a guide and a team showcase for the chief challenges, and specifically for this one, for Yfeir, I guess, or Yfeir, however you would read this. And this is basically the one where you have to use necrotic damage, right? So this one is a little bit of a quirky one because it has some interesting skills and you know, some interesting timings. So first of all, let's have a look at what he does. Start with the passive. For every 60 times of damage dealt or taken by the hero and his clones, summons a clone. As the battle starts, summons a clone, up to 2 clones on the battlefield at the same time. So the maximum amount of clones that you can have are gonna be 2 of them, right? Then passive, as always, they're immune to control effects. Then the first one is pretty much, this is the battle skill. So places a clone near the enemy with the highest attack, deals radiant damage to nearby enemies with the clone as the center, with 100% chance of to inflict taunt on them for 3.5 seconds. So this one's pretty much gonna target your best damage dealer. So if it's somebody that's ranged, you might want to have them push towards the front, right? Same thing on the second one. And then on the ultimate, jumps to the target area and deals radiant damage to enemies within range with a 100% chance of inflicting attack penalty. Meanwhile, the hero gains attack speed up for 10 seconds and enhances his basic attack for 12 seconds. In this period, basic attacks deal radiant damage to enemies twice and heal the hero and all clones. So pretty much you have to deal with the attack penalty, you have to deal with the damage that he does. So it's pretty straightforward. From my point of view, you're gonna need somebody that puts attack penalty on it. So I guess the way that I've been doing it was a little bit wrong, and I guess this is what I have to do, because he always jumps towards the one with the highest attack. In my case, it's supposed to be, let me just double check because I might be wrong, but in my case it should be Ozul, right? Ozul should be the one that always has the highest attack. So I should just keep him that way, and I guess let's go into the fight and let's see how this one goes. So, like I mentioned, the way he does the battle skill is always going to focus the people at the, in my case, the front, right? The one with the highest attack. However, if your person that has the highest attack is a ranged unit, you might want to try and have him positioned, maybe even in front, right? As long as he's protected well enough. The reason for that is because, well, you're not going to have the other ones being damaged by the boss, specifically with the battle skill, right? Even if he jumps, for example, at the back, you see he's gonna start focusing, at least with attack penalty, the one at the front, which in my case, again, it's going to be Ozul, because he's the one that has the highest attack. Again, if it's somebody that's ranged, you're just gonna have to try and place him differently. So you see that he does the, for example, he does the attack penalty, he does it towards the back row, right? Because that's where I have 3 people where he can use this ultimate that has that diamond shape, and that's gonna be the way that he will always do it. Okay, so you're gonna want to try and maybe keep the ones like you see in my case, the supports towards the back, and then Ozul is just gonna keep doing damage at the front. This is gonna be one way of doing it. Or you can just ignore, I guess, the attack penalty mechanic. I'm just gonna put it on 10 times speed, and you can just have them all grouped together, right? If they're all going to be grouped together, they're all going to take the damage the same. But pretty much the one thing that I might be lacking, for example, like in this positioning, is if there's not 2 clones over there, whenever I do the attack penalty, whenever I do the defense penalty with my Taldi, you're gonna see that it's always gonna focus where there are more enemies. So if the main boss, right, is over here at the back with one of the clones, he's always gonna focus that, which means that if my Ozul is gonna be in front, it's not gonna be working, you know, he's not gonna be doing as much damage because there's not gonna be defense penalty on the ones at the front. Now this one went a little bit bad because my Aspalta died, okay, right, and you see everybody else dies, and that's, I guess, I just wanted to show you on purpose the way that this one works like this. Okay, so I did 88 million where I had the back row at the back and then the front row be different. Do keep in mind one thing when we're talking about the chief challenges, right? When we're talking about the chief challenges, you can only do this fight once a week. So first of all, you want to do the fight towards the end of the week, right? Because if you're going to do it towards the end of the week, you're always going to be getting the best possible gear, the best possible stats, and the best possible psychic core that you have available. And if that's going to be the case, then you should be doing the maximum damage possible. Also, because of the fact that the fight can only be done once a week, you might prefer to manual it, right? You might want to manual if you see that certain skills would do better. If you want to maybe stop some defense penalties happening, stop some cleansing or some other hits, because for example, if you manual it, you might be able to do more damage. And again, because you only have to do it once a week when it's the chief challenges, that might be the better option when it comes to your damage, right? And that might be the case of what I'm doing. So you see that even though now I paired them all together, my Aspalta is still dying. The reason for that is my attack penalty is not consistent enough, because my attack penalty is only being placed by what's her name, by Aladia, whenever somebody gets hit on the shield, and it's not guaranteed. However, you see that I had them paired together, and like this I managed to do 100 million. However, there was still 1 minute to go, right? So this is the initial team that I started with. However, I might swap this out, right? I might go in Ice and Necrosis, and I might just see like, okay, who brings me attack penalty in this team and who can do it consistently? But at the same time, not only do you want somebody that does attack penalty, but you want it to be preferably AoE, right? So in my case, maybe I would drop somebody like Italdi, right? Because I think having a Spalta as the only shadow would be enough. I could drop Taldi and I could bring somebody like a Ripakas. He has a good range. He can do attack penalty, reach SP penalty. He can do several debuffs. It's not guaranteed to always be attack penalty. However, he pushes back ultimate energy, so that could be helpful. So if I go like this with a team, I can give my Ripakas the Witch's Remains, and that one might do a little bit more damage. But just to look at the team that I was using, I pretty much let them go full YOLO, because this boss is a bit quirky, right? Because of the way that he jumps around and does his hits, he's a little bit quirky. I might still play around with it, and I might come back with a video next week with the perfect timings, perfect positionings, but for now I just wanted to show you like my first impression of how it goes and show you the damage that I could do. So when it comes to builds, I have Aspalta in the Horn and Ancestral Protection, plus obviously the Moonlight Mantle with HP %. I have Aladia wearing the Chest of Radiance, because you're going to get more attack and defense. Again, Moonlight Mantle with Enlightenment, because her shields scale off of Enlightenment. And then she's wearing the Oasis, right? The Hope of Oasis, so she takes less damage. You don't really need this one. Maybe you should focus on the other set that gives you more Enlightenment, so you have bigger shields. I just gave her this one because this is what I had leveled up at this point. Then the other one, let me just put the team in there that I had. Then if we're looking about, let's look at Taldi, I guess. Taldi is the one that wears the Witch's Remains and at the same time the Cyril's Whisper. The reason why I do that is because he does the attack penalty every 10 seconds or roughly around that time, which means he's pretty much always going to have the attack up going on. If you don't want to do that, you could put, like I said, if you don't use him, you could have somebody like a Ripakas, and then Ripakas could be the one that has the what's it called, the Cyril's Whisper and Witch's Remains, or you can have Cyril Whisper on Aladia, because she lands debuffs on the passive, right? Every time somebody with a shield gets attacked, she lands attack penalty. Then Aspalta is wearing for me the Poison of Swamp. She's running also Shade of Death. You can see, I guess, let me show you the total stats for damage dealers. She doesn't have a 100% crit rate because she gets 30% from the artifact. So she has good crit damage, good attack. And then Ozul, he has a little bit lower, but that's because I have his exclusive artifact, right? His exclusive artifact makes him do more damage when he is in the demon form, and that counts for a lot, considering he does a ton of basic attacks and he has high attack speed. And then when it comes to the set, you're 100% going to want Echo of War. I would have had Echo of War on my Aspalta as well, but the problem is I don't have strong enough Echo of War, right? I need to farm a bit more, maybe now with this crit rate one, but pretty much if you have only 2 shadow people that deal damage, you're going to want to have them both in Echo of War, especially if you have Ozul, as the more attacks they do, the more they gain the shadow energy and the more damage they're gonna be doing. So yeah, this is pretty much the team that I'm using. Let me know in the comments down below, like if you're gonna want me to test some other teams, maybe later on, like in the next week or the week after I'm fleshing out my main 6 teams, I can start looking at other teams, or maybe I'm gonna jump on the test server and see what I can do some testing over there. But yeah, thank you all for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye guys.